Join your friends on PlayStation 5 with Flex. Lease a PS5 Digital Edition console starting at £10 per month for a limited time only. Now, I'm gonna be honest, like when I first saw this, I was like, this actually seems like it could be a good deal. But upon further evaluation, I realized that it's kind of scummy, to be honest. Now, if we actually head over here to the website, we can look a little deeper into this and see what is actually going on and why I personally think this is just scummy business practice. So to do this, we'll check out their cheapest option for the PlayStation 5 console itself, which is the Digital Edition 825GB version. Now, originally, I thought this was closer to like a Klarna or Afterpay type situation, but once we really get into how this works and like what Raylo is and all of this, we'll see that it's really just not. It's just really a worse option overall. So we're gonna come down here to how Flex works. Number 1, select your device and your lease term. 2, sign up in 60 seconds. Wow, I mean genuinely. And 3, end of lease. At the end of your chosen term, you're in control. Upgrade, keep paying monthly, or leave Flex by returning your device. Now, what I do want to point out immediately here is their use of the word upgrade. Now, I looked into what they meant by upgrade, and largely, it doesn't really exist. And what I mean by that is that while looking around on this website originally, I saw this button, which is showing you what choices you have after your lease/subscription ends. And they also say here, apply for a new device of your choice with no upgrade fee. And I'm like, okay, what upgrade fee though? So I keep looking and I keep searching around for what they actually meant by upgrade and upgrade fee. There just isn't anything that is actually an upgrade or even close, honestly. When they say upgrade, all they mean is that you pick a new device. That's it. They literally don't mean you're getting something better or bigger, but they're just calling it that so they can advertise and make it sound fancy. And alongside the fact that there's no actual upgrading to be done, there is no upgrade fee in general. So they're advertising no upgrade fee as if that is a thing that actually exists, if you make a different decision. No, there's just already no upgrade fee. Like, imagine you're canceling your Netflix subscription and like while you're doing that, they say, wait, you can get another year for the exact same price as the previous year, but there's no upgrade fee. Okay, so I'm just buying Netflix normally. Like, you know what I mean? It's just weird. But the predatory business tactics don't really just end there. First of all, let me outline the main difference between like leasing through PlayStation Flex like this or something like Klarna or Afterpay or PayPal, Pay Later, or any other better option. So the main difference between this leasing thing and using the other services is the fact that after a time period, you will at least probably want to own the thing that you have been paying for. But let's say I just like used Klarna and went through Walmart instead. After a few months, even if I've made a few payments, I can just refund it and they'll give my money back. If you lease through PlayStation Flex, you cannot just give it back for free and get your money back. It does not work like that. Unless you do it in the first 14 days you own it, which then you have paid nothing for 14 days, which is, you know what? Fine, sure. If that's you, that's fine. But actually, let me go back for a second because I forgot to talk about what happens if you actually decide to end your lease after their generous 14-day grace period of having a PS5 at no cost. Because there is actually a cancellation fee if you do this. And they will not explicitly state how much it actually costs unless you're canceling your own subscription. So unfortunately, I can't really tell you the exact cost, but I can tell you the calculations. For 12-month subscriptions, you pay the full 12 months minus what you have already paid. So essentially, you're buying yourself through the rest of the lease regardless. So at this point, you're essentially just sending the PlayStation 5 back and paying in full for it anyway, which is just fucked. However, for the longer 24 and 36 month subscriptions, there is actually a cap for the cancellation fee. You will only pay up to 18 months maximum minus what you've already paid. So, if you're like 14 months deep and you're like, okay, I'm canceling this shit, then you're not paying 36 months worth of payments. You can pay up to 18 maximum and then subtract it by whatever you paid already, which still is a lot of fucking money. Now, not telling you how much things cost is actually a recurring theme on this PlayStation Flex website, because let's say you actually really like the PS5 that you've had, you know, you've paid about $300 on your PS5 already, and you're like, you know what, I'm coming up on the end of my lease. At the end of this year, I'm going to actually buy this shit straight from PlayStation after this. They won't tell you how much it costs to purchase it directly from them after the lease, because they base it on a fair market value, aka you're probably about to pay $100 to $200 more than what an actual PS5 is valued at. Why did I have to stutter at the end of my, like, I just spit that shit off the dome and I stuttered at the end. Like, I'm keeping that shit in the video, bro. I don't care. I actually don't care. But they do explicitly state one thing: all your monthly payments are specifically for your tech subscription and don't factor into the purchase price. So I'm actually assuming you're not just paying $100 or $200. I'm assuming you're paying full price, which at this point you might be paying double a PS5's value if you choose to fucking buy it. But wait, because it gets worse, because I honestly forgot something. I forgot to mention the fact this thing does not come with PS Plus. It doesn't come with PS Plus. You are just getting what the console usually has out the box, which is the PlayStation 5 and the controller. That's it. So you gotta remember, if you actually really want to enjoy this console and use, you know, half the features that it offers, then you need PlayStation Plus, which is going to be another like £10 a month subscription on top of your lease, doubling Sony's revenue from anybody who actually uses this shit. And if you're in that low income demographic, then you're not going to want to pay that cancellation fee. So you're going to sit there while little Timmy, you know, sits there, has fun on Fortnite and shit, you know, using up the PS Plus and all of that, while just wishing you had never got that thing in the first place. Not to mention with the cancellation fee, you have to understand, like, if someone didn't want to flat out buy a PlayStation 5, then they also don't want to flat out spend that $300 to $400 to cancel their lease. So they're just going to get stuck in that shit. And even if they don't use it, they don't like it or whatever, they're still going to be sending Sony money every month, because, you know, that's just how it's set up. So at this point, if you are one of the people that are in the target demographic of this PlayStation leasing plan, then you honestly will be in a worse financial system if you decide to use it, which is, it's just sad. Now, let me tell you what I think is the best possible way to use the PlayStation Flex leasing program. If I were to do this, if I were really to do this, I think the best thing to do is choose the monthly rolling bill, or leasing plan, I mean. This pretty much means you can cancel anytime without the cancellation fee, but you pay more than every other plan. Honestly, I think even though you're paying more, this has to be the best deal. Because if you use it and after 6 months you realize there's no games on this shit and you don't want to play it, then boom, you send this shit back to Sony and okay, you lost like $130, whatever. Or if you're one of the people that are obviously in the target demographic, low income, low credit score people, then I would just do the 12 months at £15 a month, because honestly, you will be losing more per month, but at the end of the day, at least you're not going to be stuck in the contract as long, and the cancellation fee would not be as bad if you decide to cancel it. Now, I think I have found what would be the cheapest way to enjoy PlayStation 5 and see everything it has to offer, as well as using PlayStation Flex to its maximum potential without like destroying your pockets. I think the cheapest way would be to get PS Plus Extra and get like the entire, you know, Ubisoft classics and the game catalog and all that other shit, as well as, you know, just some of the staple PlayStation games. So now not only do you have the ability to play online, you have actual games to play without, you know, spending a bunch of money to go get different games. So if you're using the lease just to test the PS5, this is likely your best option flat out. And the monetary difference between a year worth of PS Plus with the games catalog and the PS Plus with just the monthly games, the essential PS Plus, is like $55, which is just one game. Actually, shit, games are $70 nowadays. That's less than a game. So you're really just better off upgrading, you know, for that $55 extra for the 1 year of PS Plus Extra with the games catalog, honestly. But before I get ahead of myself, I do want to say one thing in favor of PlayStation Flex. $240 for a year of a PS5 is actually a pretty good deal. The only problem is if that you actually enjoy having the PS5 and you want to keep it around, the longer you keep it around, the worse your situation gets. Because not only will it just be like, okay, I still don't own this shit, so if I want to stop paying monthly for it, it would just straight up disappear because I have to send it back to Sony. You're gonna get stuck in that situation. But if I were to just say I came to one conclusion about this PlayStation Flex deal, is that it's kind of just predatory. It targets low income, low credit score people, as I've said before, and it's best used by people who can afford it, honestly. But at the end of the day, if you really need a PS5, just use Afterpay or something. Just use PayPal Pay in 4, if you can, which is, I guess, the whole way Flex gets you. You don't need as good as a credit history and a credit score to apply for this PlayStation Flex shit, because it's a soft credit check, and alongside that, it's just you don't own it, so they aren't checking you as hard, because at the end of the day, you're under their lease, you signed their contract. And yeah, I'm not gonna ramble on anymore. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do feel like the commentary could have been a little better, I'll be honest. I wrote this script last night, and I woke up looking at the script like, damn, this shit not hitting like I thought it was. But you know what? It's a fine video. We'll keep grinding. We'll get back at it. We can't do anything but improve. I love y'all. I appreciate you for watching. Follow the Twitch, and I'm out, man. Oh shit, man, I'm fucking out of here, dog. I'm fucking out of here, man.